What if I told you that the greatest breakthrough of a life isn't hiding in some distant opportunity or locked behind a door someone else needs to open for you? What if I told you it's already within you, but it's buried beneath distraction, delay, and the lie that you're not enough? See, we live in a world where everyone's busy trying to look successful. We've mastered the highlight reel. But here's the secreting. Growth doesn't come in the glow up. It comes in the grind, the unseen hours, the time nobody applauds, the moments where you choose to grow in private so you can shine in purpose. God didn't create you to be a copy of someone else's success story. He created you to become the version of you that has power, clarity, and wholeness. But that version, it's going to cost you, not in money, not in approval, but in time. Time you've been giving away to things that don't build you. A time you've been spending scrolling, worrying, comparing, replaying regrets like broken records. It's time you could have been using to heal, to learn, to evolve. You don't stumble into greatness. You build into it. That means you carve out moments in your day where you choose growth over comfort, where you pick up the book instead of the phone, where you journal instead of judging, where you pray instead of panicking. You start to speak to your own reflection like it's worthy of being invested in, because it is. Spending time on yourself doesn't mean you're being selfish. It means you're finally valuing the assignment God put in you. You're recognizing that your life has weight, that your voice has power, and that your future is too important to hand over to autopilot. Let me be real. Transformation is not glamorous. It doesn't always feel good, but you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because there's a version of you that can break generational cycles, that can lead, that can love from a healed place, that can speak with authority because she spent time getting whole in the dark. And that doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the silence, in the discipline, in the yeses to things that stretch you and the no's to things that drain you. You want better, then become better. Spend time with the word. Spend with your wounds. Spend time with your dreams. Get honest about where you are and intentional about where you're going. Because the only thing standing between who you are and who you're called to beg is the time you choose to spend becoming her. What if I told you that the breakthrough you've been praying for, crying over, begging God to send, it's not out there somewhere waiting to be delivered like a package? It's already in you. Yeah, right there in the middle of the mess, in the parts of you've been trying to hide, in the insecurities you cover with filters. In the fear you dress up as being busy. The enemy would love for you to believe that you need someone else to give you permission, to open the door, to validate your worth. But God already put it inside you. He didn't skip over you when he handed out purpose. He didn't forget to give you the tools. No, he hit the very thing you're looking for inside of you. But here's the catch, it's buried, and you've got to go digging, and digging takes time. Time you've been spending wishing, scrolling, numbing, pretending like you're okay. But baby, let me tell you, if you don't spend time uncovering what's already inside, you'll keep chasing things outside of you that were never meant to complete you in the first place. See, you don't need another sign. You don't need another cosign. You need to stop running from the process and start becoming the woman who can carry the weight of what she's been called to do. That kind of power doesn't come from applause. It comes from alignment, from intimacy with God, from sitting with yourself long enough to hear what's really going on beneath the surface. And when you finally get still, when you finally give God that time, he starts showing you what's been there all along. You realize the breakthrough isn't coming, the breakthrough is becoming. Everybody wants to be seen winning, but nobody wants to do the work when the lights are off. Let me talk to the one who's been feeling overlooked, feeling like you're doing all the right things, but nobody notices. Baby, let me tell you something Your becoming is not meant to be a performance. It's a process. And that process, it happens in the shadows, in the silence, in the stillness where there are no cameras, no likes, no applause. That's where God does his best work, because you don't get stronger on the stage. You get stronger in the struggle. You don't build character in the spotlight. You build it when you're crying on the bathroom floor, wondering if any of this is worth it. And it is. That invisible work, it's holy. The nights you stay up praying instead of partying, the boundaries you set that nobody understands, the tears you cry that no one will ever see. That's the kind of soil where legacy grows. Don't despise the dark just because it's quiet. The womb is dark too, and yet it's where life is formed. So don't you rush out of the process trying to prove something. Let God do the work in private. Let him stretch you, heal you, mold you behind the curtain. Because when you finally step into the light, you won't be performing, you'll be prepared. And there's a difference. Performance fades, but preparation, that's what sustains you. That's what keeps you rooted when the platform gets high and the pressure hits heavy. So stay in the process, sis. Stay in the quiet. Let God build you where no one can see, so you can stand when everyone's watching. Time is not just slipping through your fingers. It's being spent, and every second is a seed. The question isn't, what are you growing with it? See, the enemy isn't always loud. Sometimes he's subtle. He won't always destroy you with disaster. Sometimes he just distracts you long enough for you to delay destiny. You think you're just taking a break, killing time, relaxing your mind. But meanwhile, purpose is waiting for you to wake up and realize that every moment you give away to things that don't feed your future is a moment you rob from your own growth. We say we don't have time, but we're binge watching, we're endlessly scrolling, we're wrapped up in gossip. We're caught in people-pleasing patterns that drain our energy. And while we're entertaining what doesn't matter, what does matter is being neglected. Your healing needs time. Your calling needs time. Your becoming needs time. But you've got to decide it's worth it. Sis, you can't expect harvest from a field you never water. You can't pray for change and then spend your time the same way you did last season. If you want to see something different, you've got to do something different. You've got to take ownership of your time like it's sacred. Because it is. You don't get to buy more of it. You don't get it on layaway. Time is a gift, but it's also a test. And how you spend it reveals what you really believe about your future. So take your time back. Reclaim your hours. Protect your peace. Invest in your growth like your life depends on it, because it does. Your time is too expensive to keep giving discounts to things that don't grow you. Growth is not glamorous, and it's sure not comfortable. It doesn't come wrapped in ease and convenience. It comes wrapped in choices. And let me be real with you. One of the hardest choices you will ever make is to choose growth over comfort. Comfort feels good, but it keeps you small. It keeps you quiet when you were meant to roar. It keeps you hiding when you were called to rise. See, comfort will coddle your fear and convince you that staying the same is safer than stepping out. But you weren't created to stay safe. You were created to transform. Every time you choose growth, you're choosing to stretch, and stretching hurts. It's uncomfortable. It means letting go of what's familiar, even when it's broken. It means walking away from relationships that feel good but don't grow you. It means setting boundaries that make people uncomfortable but make you whole. It means waking up early to pray when your body wants to sleep. It means saying no to what used to satisfy and yes to what sanctifies. That's not easy, but it's necessary. You can't become who you're meant to be and stay who you've always been. There's a cost to growth, and that cost is comfort. God will keep putting you in places, press you, because pressure reveals what's inside of you. The fire isn't there to burn you. It's there to refine you. And I know it hurts, but don't mistake the pain of progress for punishment. It's purpose. It's God saying, I love you too much to let you settle. So if it feels like everything is stretching and nothing is certain, you're probably right where you're supposed to be. Growth is not supposed to feel like ease. It's supposed to feel like becoming. The way you speak to yourself will either fuel your future or feed your fears. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough, but the voice in your head keeps breaking you. You tell yourself you're not enough, not ready, not strong, not worthy. And you say it so often, it starts sounding like truth. But hear Meg, just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's faithful. And God didn't create you to echo lies. He created you to declare life. You've got to stop waiting for someone else to speak over you and start prophesying over yourself. You've got to get in the mirror and remind yourself who God says you are, even when your circumstances don't agree. You may not feel strong, but you are called. You may not see the fruit yet, but the seed is there. And until you start speaking like the woman you're becoming, you'll keep shrinking to fit into the one you're trying to leave behind. Sis, your words have weight. The same mouth you use to encourage everybody else, use it to restore you. Speak over the tired you. Speak over the insecure you. Speak over the version of you that feels like giving up. Because if you keep watering yourself with self-doubt, don't be surprised when confidence refuses to grow. You don't need another opinion. You need alignment, and alignment starts with your confession. So lift your head, lift your voice, speak to yourself like you carry destiny, because you do. And when you change the conversation in your mind, you start changing the direction of your life. Somewhere along the way, somebody convinced you that taking care of yourself was selfish, that prioritizing your healing meant you were neglecting your responsibilities. That saying no meant you weren't being loving. But can I tell you something that might shake you a little? You are a responsibility too. You've been pouring out of an empty vessel, showing up for everybody else while slowly disappearing from your own life. And God didn't create you to just survive off scraps of energy, joy, or peace. He called you to be whole. You can't pour oil if your jar is cracked. You can't lead from a dry place. So when you spend time making yourself better, when you rest, when you reflect, when you dig into the word, when you go to therapy, when you unplug, when you protect your peace, that's not selfish. That's wise. That's stewardship. You are honoring the temple that carries the calling. Some of you have been showing up broken, thinking that being strong means pretending you're okay. But strength is not pretending. Strength is prioritizing. It's saying, before I give myself to the world, I need to give myself to the one who created me. It's knowing that healing doesn't just benefit you, it blesses everyone connected to you. A healed woman speaks different, leads different, loves different. Your wholeness becomes the overflow that waters your family, your community, your purpose. So stop apologizing for taking time to get better. You are not abandoning anyone. You are finally choosing you. And when you get better, everything connected to you gets better too. You don't just wake up one day and arrive at greatness. You don't stumble into purpose like it's some kind of accident. Purpose isn't passive. It's built in the moments nobody claps for. It's built in the decisions that cost you comfort. It's built in the obedience when it would have been easier to quit. See, we love the idea of becoming, but many of us are still avoiding the process it takes to get there. You want the platform, but are you building the character to sustain it? You want the influence, but are you willing to sacrifice for the integrity it requires? Baby, God is not just trying to hand you a blessing. He's trying to build you into the woman who can carry it without breaking under the weight. And building takes work. It takes you showing up even when you feel overlooked. It takes you praying even when your prayers feel unanswered. It takes you forgiving when your flesh wants revenge. That kind of building, that's sacred. That's not for the spotlight. That's for the soil. Because whatever grows too fast without roots is bound to collapse. But when you build right, when you build deep, when you let God shape you brick by brick, your foundation can carry the promise. Don't let social media fool you into thinking success is instant. God is not in a rush. He's into refinement. And if he's taking time to build you, it's because what you're carrying is worth the construction. So stay in the process, pick up your hammer, lay another brick, because you're not just building a dream, you're building the woman who can handle it. Some of you are trying to build a future on top of pain you've never faced. You're showing up strong, but silently wounded, smiling on the outside, but bleeding on the inside. And let me tell you something. God cannot heal what you keep hiding. You can't grow around your wounds. You've got to grow through them. Healing is not optional if you're serious about becoming who God called you to be. You want elevation, but elevation requires excavation. That means God's going to dig deep. He's not just after your habits. He's after your heart. That bitterness you buried, that shame you silenced, that trauma you tucked under performance. God says, I want that, not to expose you, but to restore you, because the woman you're becoming can't carry old chains into a new season. Healing takes time, and yes, it's messy. It'll break you open before it puts you back together. But if you skip this part, you'll keep repeating cycles, confusing survival for strength, and wondering why you feel stuck even while you look successful. Don't you dare settle for surface when God is calling you to be whole. Don't you dare normalize dysfunction just because it's familiar. Healing is the doorway to clarity, to peace, to purpose. And it takes time. You must choose to give. So sit with it, cry through over it, journal, get the therapy to the help. Let God peel up the layers, not because he wants to remind you of the pain, but because he wants to redeem it. Your wounds don't disqualify you. They're the very places God wants to use to show his power. And when you heal, you don't just get better, you get free. Discipline and distraction, they're two sides of the same coin. You can't have both. You've got to decide who you want to be when no one is watching, because that's when the real work happens. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, the constant pull of everything that demands your attention but drains your energy. Social media drama, endless comparisons, other people's opinions. They all want a piece of your time. But discipline is the quiet power that says, no, I'm choosing my future over fleeting pleasure. Discipline means showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. It means guarding your time like it's sacred. It means doing what needs to be done, not what feels good in the moment. Because the truth is, distraction feels comfortable, but it keeps you stuck in the same place. It's a prison disguised as entertainment. And if you want to step into your purpose, you've got to break free from that. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're building muscle for your spirit. You're training yourself to say yes to growth and no to what diminishes you. And that daily discipline, it adds up. It compounds. It's the difference between a dream deferred and a dream delivered. You've got to protect your time like it's your most precious resource, because it is. What you allow into your space, your mind, your schedule will either feed your future or starve it. So ask yourself, are you disciplined enough to say no to what distracts you? Are you ready to do the work that nobody else sees? Because that's where your life changes. In the moments when you choose discipline, you choose destiny. Listen, you are not an accident. You are not here by chance or convenience. You are an assignment, a divine calling wrapped in flesh, carrying purpose that only you can fulfill. And that means your growth is not optional. It's not something you fit in when you have time or when you feel like it. It's essential because the world needs you at your best. Too many of us treat our personal development like a side hustle, something secondary to everything else. But the truth is, your effectiveness, your influence, your impact All of that depends on how much time you're willing to spend becoming the woman God designed you to be. You can't pour into others what you haven't poured into yourself. You can't lead from a place of emptiness and expect to uplift a crowd. So the question isn't if you have time to invest in yourself. The question is, do you value the calling on your life enough to make the time? Because the only thing standing between you and who you're called to be is the time you choose to spend on becoming her. It's in those quiet moments, those disciplined habits, those intentional choices that you're built up and prepared for what's ahead. God's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be ready. Ready means you've done the work in the dark. Ready means you've chosen growth over comfort. Ready means you know your worth and guard your time fiercely. So stop waiting for the right moment and start spending your time becoming the woman who can step into the fullness of her assignment with confidence and courage. You are the assignment, and your time is the key